So you can climb up faces of rock, you can climb up slabs of rock, but a lot of the Joe Brown and Don Willen's routes were based in climbing up cracks. So we have terminology that we use to describe the shape of the crack that we're climbing, and it's based upon our own physiology. So a hand crack is something you can fit your hand into, so it'd be, you know, maybe 2 inches wide, maybe a bit wider. And there's even descriptions that describe how, you know, off hand cracks and thin hand cracks and stuff like that, so you know whether you're going to be getting just your fingertips in or your whole of your hand. And then it gets wider from there. So after a hand, you can put a fist in, and you might put your thumb into the palm of your hand here to make your fist a little bit wider, and you can pull on this. And it's quite mechanical, so when you become skilled at using your hands properly, you become less tired, you get less pumped, as we call it.
As the experience level goes up, you find the rest points, you can use your hands to his advantage, I suppose, use them as like bits of gear.
It's almost skeletal in a way, it's your actual bones that are holding you in place, and some of them are so good it's better than holding off a ladder when you've got a really good jam in. It gets a little bit tricky though, because after fist jams are quite hard to use because you don't have a lot of width. When you're hand jamming, you've got quite a lot of range in there, but there's not a lot in a fist. So after using a fist, we call it off-width climbing, because it's off the width of what's natural for a human, unless you're Pete, who's got massive fists. So for what would be an off-width for us would be a normal fist jam for Pete. So after you've gone past this fist width, you can then start stacking your other hands in. So we'd stack our hand maybe in this style, or what we call a butterfly jam, because it makes a little butterfly shape like that. So we can use both hands and pull up like this. Arm bars, where you're pressing your hand on one side, your elbow on the other. Chicken wings, where your arms this way and you're sort of pressing out.
Chicken wings are quite useful actually.
Yeah, they do come in. There's lots of routes here, but you'll end up in this position and you're pressing out. And I know that Tom and Pete are absolute experts at this style of climbing. We do sometimes where it's like opening an elevator door, just pulling on both sides of the crack to stop yourself falling out. So that's off-width climbing. When it gets even wider than that, you can fit your whole body into it, and it turns into something that we know is chimneying, which you might have practiced yourself if you climb the inside of a door frame. Push your back on one side and your feet on the other.
Using opposing forces.
Yeah. So that's when you get to the next size up from there. So off-width is anything in between a chimney and a fist in width for climbing, and it's really awkward and requires a certain skill set to be able to do that.